Hi there, welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I'll be showing you how we can easily use Amazon EFS and with the Amazon Lightsail. So basically, it is like if you have watched my previous video, I have shown how we can utilize the EFS in order to connect with multiple EC2 instances. Similarly, we can connect one EFS with multiple AWS Lightsail instance. So, so EFS is very simple and serverless. You can just go through my previous video. I have shown that like with a very simple example. So same thing I'm going to do, but in turn, like here it is a light sail we are going to do. And I will try to create the EFS with the commands and all. So here basically in this EFS system, file system with the light sail instance, we will be using VPC peering. So we can have multiple light sail instance that connects the same shared EFS file system. So over the VPC peering connection. So it will help you to like highly available as scalable applications that we can build in the Lightsail. Similar to the EC2, just nothing much difference. Just with the way we can like connect, we can have the user roles defined and all access to that EFS and all those things. We can do it in this Lightsail. So before we proceed, we need to have CLI installed. So basically, I'll be just running a Amazon Light Sale just without any apps or something, just an instance. So in that, I need to make sure there is a JQ, a lightweight command line processor for JSON, or as well as along with it, Amazon. This AWS CLI must tool must also be there. So just let's move to the console and AWS Lightsail console, and I will just spin that AWS Lightsail, then we will see how to move next. Okay, so you can see create instance over here. I'm choosing just Linux, Mumbai. I can show you region. So I'm just choosing the operating system, no app plus OS, just simple a blank Amazon Linux. So just hit create instance. Again, I'm telling you, I'm using a root account. That is not recommended. If you're using another user, you need to make sure you need to define the rules. You need to define a policy in order to give access for the EFS to the light sale. So I'll just give you detail. So let's start this one first. Let's do SSH to it. Okay. So I have written few commands. So I'll just put those commands in the description of the video so you can just copy paste. I will explain you how does it works. Let me open it parallelly. I'm not going to install any web server in order to explain that how we can access the same file because just I'm running one instance. You can just run it yourself, two, three Lightsail instances, and you can share the same EFS. So first, I'm just installing this JQ. It is already there, so it's already installed. So most of the scenarios, it will already be installed, so no need to worry. Just for in case if it is not installed, I'm showing you like how we can have this installed. So, so basically, I'm installing the AWS CLI and JQ, that is the lightweight compiler. Okay, okay, perfect. Now we can just type the AWS hyphen version just in order to cross check. Okay, the next thing that we have to do, let me bring it a little bit on the screen. Okay, now the next thing that we have to do, we have to write AWS configure. Okay, it will ask you for the access key ID. I will just As I mentioned you have to run this AWS configure in order to access the resources. So I have put my ID, key and ID, the secret that is being generated. If you haven't, you can just go to the IAM and generate the key. So you have to configure the CLI with that. So the very next thing that we have to do now, in order to do this one, so we have to make sure like this user is having, let me run this command. If I'm getting, because I'm using a root command, so I should get it. If you are not getting, you have to make sure you have to create a policy and attach that particular user. Okay. So when calling the sorry, our system shows that you have already paired your VPC. Okay. I think I have to remove the pairing. So actually, I was doing some demo, so there was pairing being done. So that's why I have to unpair the default VPC. So so in your case, it won't be there. So once you run this one, if you're getting some unauthorized or something like that, you have to make sure. So this is the default VPC, and the first one is the Lightsail VPC ID, and the second one is the default one. Now, if you're getting some access related issues, make it sure you go back to the here in the, let me check, dashboard, IAM, and if that particular user is there, you can create here one policy over here and attach that policy, the permissions to that particular user. So you can choose over here light sale. If it is not showing you, if it's not listing you the default VPC ID and the light sale ID, so you have to make sure you need to create this permission. So you can just choose star over here for the demo purpose, and I think read is enough for that. So no need of giving some like this all the permissions. So we need to just get the lights and VPC ID and the default VPC ID. As I'm using a root account, so it is allowed. So if you're using not a root account, the other users will make sure you have this permission. Otherwise, you won't be able to access. Okay. Now coming back to, let me, okay, so we need to take care about this too. So this is I'll just copy over here and paste it over here after this. So these are required later stages in which we have to define so this one is the light sail and this is the default VPC ID. Okay. The next step is to create the EFS. So I'll just use this command. Let me just paste it over here. Okay, then press enter. So you can see this is the EFS file system ID is there. So I'll just copy this one. So I'll just keep it over here. I'll just name it as EFS ID. So you can paste it over here. Oh, okay. It's not coming up. I need to just use the shortcut, copy, and then paste it over here. Okay. So the next command is basically here we are creating. So basically, we are describing the subnets for which this, for the default VPC, what are the subnets that for this, the VPC peering should be done. So I'm just copy pasting. Now, before copy pasting this command, you can see this command requires values, that is the default VPC ID. So this was our default VPC ID. So I'll just copy this one and paste it in my command over here. Okay, so then I will just execute this one. So it will just give you the subnets. So you can also check it from the interface also. So you can see these are the subnet IDs, the three subnet IDs it has given to us by running this specific command. So I'll just keep a copy of these three subnets again. Later on, this will be used. So describe means it is just describing you like what are the subnets and all we have as per the default VPC. Okay. Now next thing that we have to do over here, now we have to create the EFS mount targets in each availability zone. So basically, it will allow you to like file system to Lightsail instance. So for that, we need to create a mount target for each AZ. So wherever it is being located. So it should be in the same AZ, it should be mounted. So one by one, we have to do it for each subnet. So let's start with, let's say this is the command that we are going to start. Create mount target file system. So EFS file system ID. So this is our ID that we need to provide. So I'll copy this one and just paste it over here. So this is one, and the subnet ID one by one, we need to provide all the three, all the AZs we have to provide. So I will just copy this command three times. Two, just we need to make sure we provide the separate subnet ID. Rest of the command is same. Okay, third subnet. Okay, so I'll execute this all the three commands. Let's copy this. Okay, so it has been executed. Now we know that for default subnet it has created a mount. Now we need to extract the EFS mount IP address. So you can see the one is coming 172 for this AZ, 31.1.208, 31.40.31, 31.29.244. So we need to basically, um, so we need to extract that mount point IP address. For that, we need to run this command. So you can have a copy of it. Let me, so this is the IP address that is being extracted. Let me check over here. Okay, create mount target for this subnet. Okay, it has been created. Okay, we provide the file system ID, subnet ID. Okay, that's fine. So we have done for all the subnets. So the next thing that we have to do over here, we have to create a rule that will help us, our light sail, to connect to the EFS. So basically, we have to describe the peering connection. So we have to pick up the CIDR, VPC CIDR, to which it should be connected. So for that, you can see over here in this command. So describe VPC peering connection. Now we have to provide over here VPC ID of the light sail. So you can see over here, this is the very first command that we executed. So I'll copy this one and I'll paste it over here. So I will execute this one. Okay, so let's paste it over here. So it will give us the CIDR block. I think something is missing in this command. Let me check. So if it is not showing you anything over here, if it is non-value, you can just check it over here. So once you run this command, automatically you'll be getting over here. There's something wrong with this. Anyways, you can, it's responding, but I will just close the console. Now we can just copy. It's like, okay, let's try one more time. So you can see it has stopped stopping. Let me close this one. So I will just open it again. I think some network issues are there. Yes, some network issues are there. Let me click again. So it has been connected. Okay, so you can see over here the VPC peering connection. So this is the CIDR block that I was looking for. So we can copy this one and we can keep it separate over here. So basically we require this one later on. So this is the, now next step we have to create over here a security group. So in that case, we have to use the default VPC ID, that is this one. So I'll copy this one. Then I'll be providing the default VPC ID over here. This will describe the security groups. And we'll see. Okay. There is something wrong. I don't know why it's not copying. Okay, it's showing over here. It's not showing with the command, but I don't know. It's not shown over here, but it's written like this. So this is the security group that is there. I'll just copy paste this one. Invisible. So this security group is being attached, default one. So now we have to define the CIDR block that we already got it earlier. This is the one. And we have to provide over here in this particular command. Let me make it bigger. So here we need to provide it. And basically we are authorizing that security group for the communication. And here we go. Okay. Okay. No such file or directory exists. Okay, that is the default security group. We didn't copy it over here. So some invisible commands are executing. Okay, copy, paste. Okay, so for this security group, no such file or directory, return security group. No, it is the same security group ID. I think so. That one that we have copied. Yes, it is the same. 07D8660. Yes, that's correct. Okay, that's I think that's being executed. The first one was not being executed, so it is returning true. So that's already being done. Okay, now next thing that we have to do is quite strange. My commands are not coming up, so nothing to worry. So we can just paste it over here. Okay, so it's giving. So make sure you add sudo over here. Let me execute one by one. Okay, okay. Oh, where I made mistake over here. So basically, I have to run. I'm not sure what I'm getting executed. It's quite strange. I'm unable to see anything over here. Okay, so basically it has created this directory. So you can do just a ls. Again, I cannot see anything over here. But I will just restart one more time and just try whether it is being showing you the commands or not. Like this, it is not good to continue. So I will just restart. I'm just closing the console and coming back. So, so you can just do ls hyphen mnt. So, okay, so this directory has been created. This means our command was being executed. So nothing to worry about it. Now, the next thing that we can also cross check over here one thing. Let's go to the console over here. Let's let's go to the EFS. So here, I'm just changing over here to Mumbai because our Lightsail is there in the Mumbai region. Okay, so you can see over here, EFS has been created. Yes, so you can see this has been created. Now, if you click on this, security group access, everything is done. Our security group is being authorized. Now we have done the mount. Now, actually, we have to run one command in order to mount. So either you can see over here, once you click attach over here, you can get mount via IP. So you can just copy this command and you can go to your, okay. So our location is slash mount slash EFS. So remember that. So that's it. So we will create one file over here. So if you are having another, if you execute, uh, like if you run one more EC2 instance, so you can just try yourself Lightsail instance basically. Test.txt. So this file should be accessible. Okay, again, the sudo. Okay, so this file has been created, so this file should be accessible. Now, we can also test it whether the mount is correct or not. So I'll just write one command. So if you want to check over here about the EFS that is being mounted, so you can write sudo df-ht. So it should show you all. So you can see over here, so these are the various file systems over here. So you can see this is being mounted. So this is how you can check in each Lightsail instance, but make it sure you have the static IP and all, then you need to make it sure it's not changing. Once you restart, this mount will be. There is like some commands that we can have it like in the boot or in restart, it will automatically mount to this particular location. So this is how you can check whether this is being mounted or not. Similarly, if you want to have another Lightsail instance, you can get it done. So these are the few commands. So I'll just copy paste these commands in order to like use the EFS in order to with the Lightsail, multiple Lightsails. So once you have done with this, make it sure you delete all those things, those mount targets, and basically you should revoke the security group and the very first thing that you have to do with the AWS EC2, again, the typing issues are there. Okay, anyways, I'm not going to show you this. You can just delete the Lightsail instance, and I think that's more than enough. And if you have created some roles, you can delete the roles, and if you have created some key, make it